transmissions detected.
Kill them all.
Operation Popeye utilized cloud seeding technology, a type of weather modification that artificially creates rain or snow.
Mr. Weatherman, what is your forecast? I need a major change. I can't stand no more rain. Everything's been going wrong. Please tell me it's something in the ozone. Or is the atmospheric pressure just too strong? I can't ride out one more storm.
Hello, my friends. Today I document the Environmental Modification Treaty. Scientists told us that all the strange weather patterns and events around the world were natural in origin, and they're merely intensifying because of us. It's our fault. It's due to our consumption. It's due to our large, huge carbon footprint upon the earth that we put on it. Remember, they think humans are the problem, so, But those pushing this climate nonsense have been exposed for disseminating false and misleading data. It's weird that they said it was people like me doing that. Funny how the conspiracy theory turns out to be true all the time, isn't it? A small investigation shows without a doubt that this alleged climate crisis, if any, was pretty much all artificially manufactured. Does it rain? Does it snow? Do we have earthquakes? Of course, but not like this. They had to have folks kick and scream loud enough, and that's what was going on with the climate stuff, so nobody would notice what was really going on. You see, the U.S. government and 47 other countries signed the ENMOD Treaty back in 1977. The technology being developed was used was capable of causing earthquakes, typhoons, tsunamis, tornadoes, floods, droughts, and volcanic activity. Can you believe it? Oh man, everything we consider to be acts of nature. Yeah, for the last, 60 years or more, America and obviously every other country has had this technology. And we first found out about it during the Vietnam War through Operation Popeye. It was a classified military program conducted by the U.S. Air Force from 1967 to 1972. And what they basically did was they extended the monsoon season over areas of Vietnam, like the Ho Chi Minh Trail. They employed cloud seeding techniques to increase rainfall, and my God, did they ever increase it. Now, this operation involved dispersing silver iodide or lead iodide into the clouds. They say to stimulate precipitation. They just didn't realize it was going to do it that bad. But instead of stopping or backing off, it was doing what they wanted it to do, which was pretty much, bogging everything down. Now, they didn't care about the people. They just cared about the military that they were stopping. They didn't care that they were flooding people's houses or breaking dams and, causing mudslides and people to lose their lives. They were just worried about troop movements. They didn't want nobody to be moving around, Oh, goodness gracious. In 1971, a whistleblower leaked it to the media, and the media went completely stupid about it. And I mean, rightfully so. The majority of Congress was stunned, and basically in 1977, after everybody was complaining and petitioning, and don't get it twisted, I'm sure Congress and a few people absolutely knew about it, but they had no choice but do something. On May 18, 1977, in Geneva, Switzerland, the Convention on the Prohibition of Military or any other hostile use of environmental modification techniques took place. And this ENMOD Convention banned using the environment as a weapon. No weather wars were permitted as of the date of the treaty. However, that's for nefarious reasons only. It didn't outlaw that technology to be used on your own people. Yeah, it just can't be used on them. I mean, how insane is that? Basically, The very definition that they use for this treaty states this, I quote, "Any technique for changing, through the deliberate manipulation of natural processes, the dynamics, the composition or structure of the Earth, including its biota, lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere, or outer space." I mean, that's what happens when you let crazy people drive. I'll continue to say that, man. You just cannot just throw your keys to anybody. You got to pay attention to who's doing what. So 50, 60 years ago, they could mess with the Earth on every level. Now think about the technology we have and the AI we have right now and what they could do. They felt the need to make a treaty. You know, either the technology was real, in development, or seriously people were weaponizing this stuff. You know, the men of Earth think that they can use us for science experiments. You know, this is crazy.
Operation Popeye utilized cloud seeding technology, a type of weather modification that artificially creates rain or snow. With it, the U.S. military extended at least 5 monsoon seasons, causing detrimental effects to the unknowing Vietnamese citizens and soldiers. The mission spanned 5 years and cost taxpayers over $15 million. Despite multiple hearings in Congress, military officers, and even President Nixon himself denied it existing at all. Vietnam is known for having one of the world's longest monsoon seasons, usually running from April to October. June, July, and August are the months with the heaviest rain. And so the Department of Defense decided to attempt to recreate this process. Their goal was to try to control the weather and extend the monsoon season for as long as they could. To achieve this, they resorted to cloud seeding. This process is thought to have originated in 1946 by Vincent Schaefer, a chemist employed by General Electric. Cloud seeding is a method for artificially producing rain or snow. It requires modifying a cloud's chemical structure to boost the chances of precipitation with the added substance of silver iodide, which works as a condensation agent. There are 2 ways to disperse cloud seeding agents, either using large cannons to shoot the particles into the sky, or using airplanes to drop the particles from above. Throughout the planning period, the program went by several names to maintain its secrecy. Operation Popeye ended up being its official name. In a memorandum sent in January 1967 from Deputy Undersecretary of State for Political Affairs Foy D. Kohler to then Secretary of State Dean Rusk, Kohler described Project Popeye's goals, stating, quote, "The objective is to inhibit overland vehicular movement and to reinforce the bottlenecks already created at stream crossings by the bombing of bridges and ferry installations. With respect to Laos, the objective is to extend rainfall through the dry season, keeping the ground as near the saturation point as possible and obstructing traffic that normally forwards streams during the low water period. By generating rain, the American Army would slow the Viet Cong's truck traffic, impairing the supply flow throughout the trail and leaving them more susceptible to other attacks." Kohler also believed that cloud seeding was relatively more ethical than common warfare, stating, quote, "With respect to North Vietnam, we believe that as an interdiction measure, Popeye operations would be less harmful to the population and area affected than bombing. For Operation Popeye to be successful, it had to be carried out with the utmost secrecy. If information about America playing God and controlling the weather came out, there might be speculation about man-made alterations in other climatic anomalies they had no connection with. However, American planners were also convinced that their intervention on the weather would inevitably be discovered. According to Deputy Undersecretary Kohler's memo, quote, "In the first place, the altered weather will be observable, in contrast to the experimental phase conducted during normally rainy periods. Disclosure of planned weather experiments in India would make it likely that the connection would become apparent. Secondly, the possibility of a U.S. seeding aircraft being downed cannot be discounted. Thirdly, there is virtually no aspect of military operations in Southeast Asia which has not over time become the subject of leaks, or at least of speculation in the press." Operation Popeye is thought to be the first known successful application of weather control technology in warfare. The first flight of the operation took off on March 20th, 1967. A total of 2,602 flights were made in 5 monsoon seasons, from March to November. The 54th Weather Reconnaissance Squadron executed the cloud seeding procedure using the slogan, "Make mud, not war." Within their squadron, the operation was codenamed Motor Pool. 3 Lockheed C-130 Hercules aircraft and 2 McDonnell Douglas F-4 Phantom aircraft, based at Udon Thani Royal Thai Air Force Base, were altered and fitted with silver iodide ejectors. The 5 cloud seeding jets had the standard Southeast Asia camouflage colors and markings, but no unit identifiers, likely because the operation was top secret. The squadron flew 2 rainmaking operations per day, while also generating report data, which they presented to their superiors. The flights were officially logged in as standard weather reconnaissance flights. The Viet Cong would not know where the rain was coming from. The initial range of operations for Popeye was the eastern half of the Laotian Panhandle. 4 months after the first official flight, the area of intervention was increased toward North Vietnam. In September 1967, the Ao Sha Valley in South Vietnam was also added to the mix. As bomb operations over North Vietnam expanded, that area was eliminated from the list on April 1st, 1968. Likewise, the southern region to North Vietnam became part of the operational site for only a couple of months. In 1972, northeastern Cambodia was added to the operational zone. A total of 47,409 units of cloud seed cartridges were expended. The operation's details were so secret that the soldiers who got selected to participate were usually kept in the dark until the last minute. Everyone had their own theory about what Operation Popeye was really about. Soldier Howard Kibble said, quote, "I had fleeting thoughts of flying over China, working for the CIA, you name it. But I signed a statement and found out that I was going to make rain. Geez, I thought they were kidding." Ethical and environmental concerns were Operation Popeye's downfall. An article in the Washington Post in 1971 by reporter Jack Anderson revealed that the U.S. was engaged in clandestine weather weaponization in Vietnam. The information was corroborated by the Pentagon Papers leak released by Daniel Ellsberg. The following year, in July of 1972, journalist Seymour Hersh reported in the New York Times about Operation Popeye using the headline, "Rainmaking is used as a weapon by the U.S." The article describes how some officials opposed the radical idea and even doubted its effectiveness due to the unknown long-term consequences, stating, quote, "Despite years of experiments with rainmaking in the U.S. and elsewhere, scientists are not sure they understand its long-term effect on the ecology of a region." A few days after the story's publication, the entire program was officially ended, and all cloud seeding missions stopped. Silver iodide, a material used in cloud seeding condensation, is known to be toxic to aquatic life. So when used in the long term, precipitation from seeded clouds could harm the environment. The news caught the eye of Democratic Senator Claiborne Pell, who demanded to have the specifications of Operation Popeye officially declassified and released to the public. As one of the leaders of the operation, Lieutenant Harry Edward Soyster was asked to testify in front of the Committee on Foreign Relations. He told them everything he knew. The cost of Operation Popeye was about $3.6 million per year, which included the operation and maintenance of the modified jets, purchase of seeding materials, and pay for the people involved in the project. The timing of all these public announcements did not work out well for the Department of Defense. In 1972, the environmental boom in America was burgeoning. In addition, the Nixon administration was already struggling with the beginning stages of the infamous Watergate scandal. When the public, especially environmental activists, found out that America had secretly been playing God and altering the weather in Vietnam, they were outraged The operations were dubbed the Watergate of weather warfare. Operation Popeye was officially terminated on July 5, 1972. In 1977, the U.S. joined the Environmental Modification Convention Treaty, or ENMOD, an international treaty which formally banned weather modification for malicious purposes. The agreement banned causing earthquakes and tsunamis, steering hurricanes, or tampering with the ionosphere. It also prohibited any kind of severe damage to the environment. Since cloud seeding has never been used in warfare again, the results cannot be measured or compared.
Well, that's absolutely nuts, isn't it? I mean, what a joke, right? How many people were laughed at, called names, called conspiracy theorists for saying planes were spraying chemicals on us, right? I mean, they are real assholes for doing that, thinking it's their right to use us for science experiments. It's so disrespectful. The History Channel did this a while ago, and I don't know how it stayed up. I got my first community strike from a chemtrail video like this, and they say it was because of what I said. I had to take like this little class, this little woke oh my God, it's so horrible. But that's free speech for you, you know. Google, YouTube, all of them just censored us on what? Everything. COVID, the presidency, chemtrails, of course, everything. It's shameful, actually. And it's actually ridiculous in a way to silence somebody like me, something so petty. You know, I mean, my channel's demonetized. That's why I play music. I just do it for fun. I enjoy it. It gives me something to do. So to drop my voice out of the mix because, you know, I said something about chemtrails, and you got an entire video about some secret mission on it, you know. But it shows the extent they'll go to hide something, you know. I guess I just said the wrong words or said it too plain as day. I have no idea. But before I run off, I'd like to thank Mr. Keitel Sierra. See, I've never gotten anything in my Cash App, buddy, so I rarely check it. I'm so sorry. Forgive me for not noticing it sooner. I know it's been like 6 weeks or more, but, you know, most importantly, thank you, sir. That was very, very kind of you, and my family thanks you. I was taken back by it, really. It made my day, and, well, I can't say thank you enough. I really can't. Man, that was awesome. But may the Most High bless you all your days, my friend, for that. I appreciate it, and that's what I needed to say. My love to all of you. I'm Wild Dog, and I am out of here.
Mr. Weatherman, what is your forecast? I need a major change. I can't stand no more rain. Everything's been going wrong. Sorry. Please tell me it's something in the old